How's it going, Inner Shift Squad? Welcome back to another episode of the Inner Shift Podcast. My name is Martin. I am your host of the Inner Shift Podcast. Man, today I am super excited for a special guest. We have a big guest on today for the Inner Shift Podcast. We have Mayor Helen Tran on the podcast today. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Well, thank you for being on this episode. It's a big deal to have you on the podcast here.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here to have a discussion and thank you for being curious about what is the mayor? What does the mayor do?
Yeah, of course. I've always been curious, but I kind of want to, if you could just for our audience, if you can just kind of tell them, who you are, where you're coming from and all that stuff. You could just kind of introduce yourself to our audience.
Absolutely. Well, hi everyone. I am Mayor Helen Tran for the great city of San Bernardino of 226,000 lives. We are the county seat in the largest county in the nation, by the way. So a little about me. I am a daughter of refugee immigrants from Vietnam. They left their war-torn country to come have a better life for myself and my siblings, and was sponsored to the U.S. and San Diego was the place. And thank goodness, because that's where I was born. So my parents left by foot from South Vietnam to Cambodia, to Thailand, and pregnant my older sister. She's well and alive. And so understanding that, I came from humble beginnings. So did I ever think I was going to be mayor? No. So we'll take a deep dive of that. But I have been your mayor since November 2022, sworn in December 2022. So 3 years, 3 months. Whose county I am, because I want to make sure every day in office as your mayor is impactful and there's progress. So it's been such a great honor to serve.
That's great. Now, we're just talking about before our cameras went on is you were born and raised right in San Diego.
Yes, so I was born in San Diego, but we decided to move to San Bernardino when I was 6 years old.
Okay, that's awesome. Now, kind of jumping into our questions now. And you just mentioned you're counting your days as mayor. What kind of made you jump into wanting to do what you're doing now today and being mayor?
What made me be mayor or even have the the desire? I don't think that was ever a desire when I was a young child. I actually wanted to be a third grade teacher since I was a girl, but life's experience, mentors along the ways, really helped propel me. So I met folks in politics when I was in high school, and that was just engaging volunteering on a campaign in 1999. And I met mentors on that. So I followed them, and I worked on so many campaigns up and down California and some out of state. And then I went to college. When I went to college, I, again, was on track to become a third grade teacher, but I was working on campaigns, and then I did that post-college. But I decided not to want to do that anymore.
Right.
And when I came back home, I was looking for a job. It was not easy. So I went through a temp agency, Apple One, Software Hospitality, still there.
Okay.
And it landed me a job at City Hall. So city government exposure was since 2006.
Okay.
I worked in city government for 14 years. And I think being a lifelong resident of San Bernardino, growing up here, and then understanding politics, and then understanding city government, it just clicked to me that, oh my goodness, city government and politics go hand in hand. And then I realized, okay, well, who's going to make the biggest impact? And that's what propelled me to want to run.
That's great. Now, being mayor today, what kind of what does it mean to you truly to be beyond the title of you being mayor? What does that mean to you?
Being mayor to me for the city of San Bernardino is being a leader for a community that the needs are being addressed, that the community is thriving, that everyone is proud to be from San Bernardino. And so I'm really working hard to be a mayor who really is that cheerleader for San Bernardino and help facilitate and propel San Bernardino in a beautiful way.
That's great. Now, with mayor comes responsibilities,
yes.
Right? some pretty big responsibilities. What are some responsibilities, if you could just name one or two, that come with being a mayor?
Being a mayor is a huge undertaking because you are the face of the city. And San Bernardino, when I walked into the office as mayor, It was not an easy cake job going in as mayor.
Right.
It was having to build trust from a former administration that really left a lot of stigmas and negativity. And so having to come into this office, it was to rebuild the mayor's office and build trust and being engaging to say that, hey, we are here to serve you. So as a mayor, you have to understand, because we're a charter city.
Right.
So the charter is a 14-page charter where this was voted by the people. We got to follow this charter. And the role of the mayor is a chief spokesperson, someone who chairs the council meeting twice a month and in their special meetings, and build intergovernmental relationships. That's important too. That helps our city.
Right. Okay. Now from you covering that, I'm curious. What are some challenges right now you think as mayor that we're facing right now that that can.
Oh, there's a lot of challenges as mayors, especially during this time when you have impacts from the federal level that impacts to our local level. And I'll just say is the ICE, incidents and that impacts our immigrant families. Even when prices are increasing, and so it impacts our local families. And so who do they go to? They go to us because we're right here. We're in their faces.
Right.
But it's because a lot of folks don't understand all the different layers of government. And so I always tell folks, look, let's figure out how do we serve this community the best way we can to minimize these impacts.
Okay. Now you just mentioned this ICE situation, stuff like that. So how do you balance listening to the community while making difficult decisions on cities on in the city of San Bernardino? How do you kind of balance those decisions?
So when there are things that are outside of our hands, right, it's in the national level, but it's impacting us in the local level, we just have to do the best we can to provide the resources and information for our residents to understand. And this is what you could do to address the situation, like when it's federal level issues, right? But in the local level, we have to address the streets being paved, the parks being clean, maintained, the homelessness issues are being addressed. We just have a whole host of things that just basic needs, right? Making sure the city's safe, it's clean, it's thriving. You have to balance it every day, but you also have to work with everyone and know who is going to help drive those results.
Right. You just mentioned, the whole thing of communities of keeping the parks clean, keeping the streets safe and streets clean. How can this the people of San Bernardino kind of be more involved in helping the community, be more involved in the community? What would you
suggest
suggest
and how to be more involved? I think for one is to know who your leaders are, to know who your mayors are, who your mayor is. You have one mayor. Then your council members, you have 7 council members in the city of San Bernardino. And each council member represents each district that is your advocate for your voice. Because you got to really understand these leaders who are trying to address the quality of life, the health and well-being of you living in this city.
Right.
And following us in ways, let's say, social media, Instagram, Facebook, or sign up and subscribe to get information from us. Just know that there's a lot that we can assist on, and sometimes people just don't know. Because when I look back when I was growing up, I don't even know how my parents survived, because not speaking English and all that.
Yeah.
Like I have mad respect to those who just coming here trying to seek a good life. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like all these resources that we don't know. So what I try to do as mayor is to be very engaged in the community and say, hey, did you know about this? Did you know about that? Follow us. Understand that that's there for you.
Right.
So the more we educate our community members, the more they have the power to be making informed decisions.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean that makes perfect sense. San Bernardino, it has a complex history. With both struggle and resilience. How do you personally define the spirit of the city right now?
The city is absolutely resilient. The city has gone through a lot. I worked for the city for 14 years before I decided to leave and then decided to run for office. So going from a former staffer well, one, I'm a lifelong resident, grew up here 6 years old, so I understand San Bernardino very well. And then working in City Hall for 14 years, understand the nuance of city government and the complexity of bureaucracy and all that. And then now as an elected official, big picture, it is, I have to say, my journey to understand those components, understand the city very well, understand city government very well, and understand now politics and how to lead. It's really figuring out how do we facilitate progress in the city by understanding the roles, who we need to be working with, and all of those components that is key. And so when you know that, you can make a lot of things happen. Because I always say the work is not hard to do.
Right.
It's the people who can be the barrier, and we humans can be complex.
Right.
So I think that's where it comes into,
I feel like San Bernardino, the people, they're very strong and very like, man, they're bold, and which I love, because they're very, outspoken too. So it's great.
But not only that, there's such love in their city. People who live in the city, grew up in the city, work for the city, there's such love for San Bernardino. And so what's unfortunate, sometimes the stigma of what media paint us to be is so far-fetched. Like they think, oh my God, the dangerous city, or oh, be careful going to the city. It's like, y'all are wrong, because San Bernardino is such a great place to go to. It's so beautiful. We have the bones, the structure, that it's just, yeah, I just want people to really come here and say, wow, I didn't know. Yeah, you didn't know.
That kind of goes into my next question is, what do you think the outsiders of, them looking in about, looking into San Bernardino, you just kind of covered it there. Like, they're like, whoa, it's kind of, what do you wish the outsiders could see or know about San Bernardino?
I wish the outsiders would not believe what we're being painted as, the dirtiest city, as the most dangerous city, or what have you. They need to come and see it for themselves and just take a drive, or at least, because we're a big city. We're 63 square miles. And we're the county seat, the largest city in the county of San Bernardino, the largest county in the nation. So, and we're surrounded by such beautiful assets, like the mountains and we're beautifully located. And I just wish people could just give San Bernardino an opportunity to show themselves, see it for themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And now, kind of going outside of that, what do you think the biggest challenge right now San Bernardino is facing? That doesn't get talked about enough.
I think San Bernardino has always faced challenges. I mean, I've seen it firsthand as a staffer, now as elected, and challenges has improved as far as minimized. I think the challenges generally, when I kind of mentioned earlier, it's not the work that's hard to do, it's the people, right? It's folks who can be in the way, or folks who there's unwillingness to move the city in a way where it's going to be the next epic center. I mean, talk about when we do have a downtown, because we have a blank slate, a blank canvas. And when you do have a downtown in San Bernardino, it'll be the largest downtown in the IE.
Right.
Let me repeat that. The largest downtown in the IE. So I always tell folks, like, think big. Like, we still have so much work to do. Stay focused on the work. Why are we here? We're here to serve the people of the city. And so, irregardless of the challenge that people have heard, like we went bankrupt 5 years, all those things, right? Now we're trying to recover and rebuild. It just means so much endless opportunities.
Right. Okay. And then kind of going based off that, what does a thriving San Bernardino look like in the next 3 to 5 years?
Thriving San Bernardino looks like 3 to 5 years is a booming downtown. It's going to be the major heartbeat of the city that's going to pump out all the major corridors into the city, like major arteries right from the heart. And you're talking about major streets like East Street, Highland, Baseline, Waterman, all that. All of our major stakeholders are thriving off of that. We have university, Cal State University. We have community college here. We have an international airport that is really booming. And so connecting all those major corridors, and once we do have a moving downtown, it's going to be major. Wow. And you have 90,000 employees come into San Bernardino daily. Wow. They leave daily. 90,000. So can you imagine if they stay?
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah.
And then, not only that, we're 226,000. When we hit 250K, we will have a seat at the table with the governor.
Mm. Yeah, that's
That's huge.
That's huge. Yeah, that's big. That's big.
Yes.
So kind of going off of that, the goals. That's the goal, right?
That is the goal.
It's to be at that spot where you just said, we're at the governor. I'm sorry.
Yes.
And kind of going from there, kind of making San Bernardino look good, and all that other
Yes.
stuff, right?
Yes.
So going from there, is there anything you would like to tell the people of San Bernardino that kind of make them more confident that they're in good hands?
Absolutely. I have to tell you, for being your mayor for 3 years, 3 months, and it's been a great honor. And I'm already heading into re-election, and so it would be an honor to serve another term because the work is so great, but the momentum needs to keep going. And I hear nothing but during my time there has been a lot of progress, a lot of positive progress. And what's important is that folks in communities like San Bernardino need to engage civically in elections coming up, in just understanding what's going on in your own city, right? Because if we are not doing what we're supposed to be doing when you elected us in this office, then exercise your democracy, right? That to me, I'm so big on that because to me, it's like, if people are making progress, support that.
Right.
If people are not making progress, exercise democracy. But there's power in voting. I'm going to share this data point because I think it's really critical. And this shows from the local to the state to the nation that the voter block, the largest voter block, is 18 to 35. Largest voter block, data-wise. But the deciding voter block that decides all elections from local, cities to county to state to national, is a smaller voter block, which is 65 to 90. They're the OG voters.
Right.
Because they grew up religiously voting every single time. 100% voters, right?
Yeah.
But they're the smallest voter block. Can you imagine if you wake up and ignite the 18 to 35, which is the largest voter block?
Yeah.
18 to 35. If you all start voting, you could change all leadership across the board.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to be ignited and exercise your power. And that's why I say elections have consequences. If you complain about, issues that, this is nothing getting done, well, then turn that complaint into action.
Right.
Because you can't say, well, I didn't do anything.
Yeah. Right. No, I kind of hear a lot too of people around my age. I'm in my early 30s.
Oh, so you fall under that data block.
But people, I kind of hear from people around my age, it's my vote doesn't matter, or
on the contrary, yes.
Yeah, or like they're not gonna listen to me, or whatever it may be. What can you kind of like beat on that?
Oh, I'm gonna keep beating on it because as the mayor of the city, I have remember I want to be their great teacher. Now as the mayor, I try going to spaces where I talk to the youth. Right. I talk to the future, right? I said, y'all need to understand when you turn 18, you need to vote. Right. Because if you care enough about your families, your communities that you're living in, and you want a thriving community, you bet that vote matters because it will give you that. But if you keep saying it doesn't matter, you've already ingrained it into your head. So you told yourself it doesn't matter. Stop saying that. It does matter. I think we need to start shifting our mindset and changing the culture. And I'm trying to do that really hard in San Bernardino. It's changing the cultural mindset, right? Is that, we can't get it in. No, we could. Because when someone says no, I was like, that's not that. Don't tell me no.
Right.
There's a solution to every problem.
Right.
So let's figure out how do we get there. Right. We all want that, but don't say no.
Yeah.
So it's just like, hey, my vote don't count. Well, you just said that. Let's turn that around and say, my vote does count.
Yeah. Well, where do you think that comes from?
I think because they keep seeing what's out there right now, the shenanigans, come on, media is very negative.
Yeah.
Right? Unless we start shifting that. So if it bleeds, it reads. So everything that you see on TV, is it positive or negative? It's negative. So they keep seeing that, oh, I don't want to touch politics. So I'm not a political person. I'm probably the least political person in a very political seat. I always tell people that. I'm here to help drive results. Let's figure this out. Right. And so, and I get a lot of comments like, you're very normal. Yes, I am normal. I'm just like you. I just wear a very important title. But let's figure this out. Let's use this important title and make moves together, right? And I think I need the young folks, especially the 1835, which you fall under. So now you're going to be an influencer, right?
Right. There you go.
So, and we have to really activate that. And everyone that I talk to who are influencers in that age bracket, I said, y'all need to ignite yourself. Ignite. Please, if you're an influencer and the age 1835, ignite. Because I'm telling you, see the results.
It's truly based on the results, and it's important to get out there and vote, and to make that difference. And kind of we're talking about goals, and we're talking about 3 to 5 years from now. What's San Bernardino look like?
We could make big moves in 3 to 5 years. It starts now. And by the way, I just spoke to students who are dreamers, DACA and all that, and they asked the question, what if we can't vote? That's okay. Use your influence, because you have the power to influence your circle, your families, your friends, right? If you can't vote, you know people who can vote, right? So there's ways you can engage on campaign, you can engage in people or leaders, get behind leaders who will help address the issues that you care about. And also people, don't ever think it doesn't matter, because if you think that way, then you're always going to have that mindset. It does matter.
Now, going from that, this podcast is called the Internship Podcast, where we somewhat talk about the mental part of stuff. So being in the seat where where your position, your title, where does mental awareness come in for you? At the end of the day, because your title, it comes with a lot of responsibility.
It does. Mentally, it's I always tell people, man, you're just lucky you have me, because you have to have a strong mental fortitude, a emotional fortitude, and a physical fortitude to do this type of job. Because boy, you are like target number one if you're mayor of any city. You're a target. And so I look at it like I understand. When people come at me frustrated, angry, and just like, you're the response for not getting this, I understand. But it is all of us. And so I'm trying to make shifts with the understanding that you want to make things happen. I do too. That's why I ran. But you have to make sure that we're always in constant dialogue and see if we are really making progress. And I have to tell you, in my short period of time, we've made a lot of progress. I mean, during my 3 years, we pulled in the most grant funds to help the city, 276 million plus. And we've opened the Mount Vernon Bridge, infrastructure, paving streets and maintaining the parks and addressing homelessness. So we've done a lot in a very short period of time, and I keep hearing that from everyone. Even the council say, "Oh yeah, we've done so much in 3 years," and I'm thinking, I wonder why. And I still don't say anything. It's like,
now, because I feel like some people kind of me being one, kind of looking from the inside looking in, or the outside looking in, it's kind of be like, man, she it doesn't matter who, it could be anyone, any mayor, anyone that's sitting in a
and
higher
it's tough.
title.
It's tough.
It's tough, but also too, I feel like people, I hear a lot with like, oh, they're not going to listen to us, or like you have this person, the mayors or governors, whatever it may be, have this like no like they don't care type of thing, or type of look.
But I have to tell you, when I do show up at the doors and like, you're the mayor? Yes, I'm the mayor. It's like, you're my dorm. Yes, I'm at your door. I know, but I'm here because I need to hear what you have to say. And I care enough. If I didn't care enough, I would not be at your door. Or I pop into businesses. Oh my God, the mayor's here. I'm like, yes. But I'm trying to shift how we lead in this community by setting an example. And so it starts with folks who want to lead. Okay, start doing that. And I'm one person. I get it. I may not be able to do everything, but I also need to hear it from the people. Like, what is that you're not seeing that you would like to see? Because if you're not engaged with me, how do I know? Right. I always tell people that everywhere I go, I say, did you report that information? Did you let us know? No, we just like, well, then how do we know? Right. How do we address it?
Right.
So let's start that dialogue. And I always have folks that I'm very comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I think it starts with that, right? You have to be willing to have a uncomfortable conversation and say, let's rumble with this. Let's figure this out.
Yeah.
Because you can come at me, but I'm not going to take it personal.
Right.
And it takes work because mentally, I had to go through my journey too to understand it wasn't a personal attack on me. It's just because I'm wearing this title there, and then the mayor,
Right.
not Helen Tran, the mayor. Right. Because I'm in the mayor's seat, I'm the number one.
Like, yeah. How where do you get that from? You think that just like that where you kind of built that? Okay, they're not attacking Mayor Helen Tran. They're not attacking Helen Tran. They're attacking, or not attacking, but they're talking to the mayor.
Right. They're talking to the mayor versus Helen Tran, me as a person, because they don't know me, right? It's always what the seat that, and that goes with anything, right? The president, the Congress, the city council, any position. And I had to work on my own leadership so it's self-work. And so I invest my, because if you don't invest in yourself, how do you really invest in others? And how do you serve others, right? And so I always look at, okay, am I looking at this differently? I need to step back and not take it personal and not take it offensive. But I have my best friend is executive coaching, and she helps train me to think things differently because she is my biggest critic. And she was like, you're having a biased thought now. You got to be objective now. Right. Why would you say that? Did that person say that to you? No. Well, then don't assume that, right? So it's having a circle of trusted folks who can give you direct, constructive feedback, and you not taking it personal, but you have to work on it. You have to be willing to work on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, kind of, just going off of that, kind of, wrapping it up a little bit, right? Is there anything you would like to share more? I know we have your campaign right now. Is there anything you'd like to share that we haven't covered, or that I haven't asked you that you would like to share with the people of San Bernardino?
No, absolutely. I just want to tell folks in the city of San Bernardino that it has been such a tremendous honor to serve you, and it would be a true honor to continue to serve you another term, because I know the city needs stability on good leadership, and that will help push progress, even more progress, and even in the next 3 to 5 years, have a booming downtown and all of these things that we can do, and making sure that we work with all types of leadership, and we can agree to disagree, but staying focused on the work, right? I think that's what I can do as your mayor, and just being mindful how we, the understanding of the community, what the needs are, and how we can facilitate addressing those needs in the best way possible. So I'm excited. I'm excited for San Bernardino, because San Bernardino is, and I always described it from my last journey when I ran in 22, is a sleeping giant, and still is. It's still in its womb. It hasn't blown up into like, whoa, San Bernardino. And so it's going to get there.
Well, what makes you say that?
Because I can feel it and see it, just because of our city's structure, bones, and what we have. Okay. And just because I understand city government so well, having worked in city government for almost 2 decades now, and what the potential would be if you have elected leaders who will be aligned with trying to make that happen.
Right.
And so I like I said, I think it was such a beautiful journey for me to be exposed to so many things to prepare me to be an effective mayor. And so that experience has allowed me to help facilitate progress in the city.
Okay. Now, if you could tell just our audience where they can find you, where they can go out.
Absolutely.
When it's time to go vote.
Yes.
Where can they do that, if the people that don't know?
Absolutely. So from today, we are 10 weeks out from election. Which is June 2nd. 6 weeks out from ballots dropping in every voter's hands, which means truly election starts in 6 weeks. When you have ballots in your hand, you could vote already. So if you want to know more about me, go to Vote Helen Tran on Instagram and Facebook. You can go to mayorhelentran.com for my website. I try to make myself very accessible. I do have a team on the campaign that you can reach out to. That information is also on the social media site, so you could always reach out and say, hey, I want to get to know you more, or we'll let you know when we have the next meet and greet or any other events that allows you to get to know me and perhaps support me or even be part of this journey and get the word out.
Awesome. Well, Mayor, thank you so much for sitting down with me. I appreciate your time and taking these questions. And saying so again, we thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed talking to me.
Oh, honestly, I enjoy all conversations. And so
Awesome.
thank you for having me. To me, if the more that we could educate our community members about our roles and how we could help govern our communities that we serve, that's huge.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, InnerShift podcast, our audience, her links would be down below. Social medias would be down below. Any information that you guys think will be down below in our description. So go ahead, look those up down below, and give Mayor Tran a follow, and make sure you guys go out there and vote. We talked about goals 3 to 5 years from now, and those goals start now.
Yes.
So please go out there and vote. Go make a difference. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Comment down below. What you liked about this episode. Share it with friends and family. Subscribe to this podcast channel, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. See you guys later. Bye.
So, hi everyone. I'm Mayor Helen Tran here. I'm proud to serve as your mayor in the last 3 years and going to my 4th year. It would be an honor to serve another term for you. We've done a lot in a very short period of time, creating progress in our city, but we have a lot more ahead and bigger progress. So again, let's get to work. Let's not waste any time, because your tax dollars are very valuable, and we got to show how to apply those tax dollars. And so again, give me a follow. I am Mayor Helen Tran, or my campaign side of things is Vote Helen Tran, and here to serve you and help drive results. Don't forget, June 2nd is Election Day coming up, and ballots drop first week of May. So really, you can start voting first week of May. Don't forget.